today.
You as well. Thank you very much for having me.
This is really exciting because this brand, Sid Wainer and Son, really is considered to be the premier specialty food distribution brand in the country. Is that right?
Absolutely. By many culinary professionals, that's how we are known.
Okay, so that being said, bacon does make everything better. I'm just gonna run through what we're getting and we're gonna talk about why the bacon is so different. 2 pounds of the Applewood smoked bacon. So you can see right here, the packages, by the way, will be coming to you fresh, not frozen. You can freeze it should you want to when you get it home, and we'll talk about that, but you get 2 pounds of that. Then you're also getting 1 pound of the Cobb smoked country bacon. And this actually has an American history. This is heritage bacon. That's the way I'm going to speak about it. And then right down here at the bottom, this is really the most gourmand of the three, which is the pepper crusted bacon that you see there. So 1 pound of that, 4 pounds total. So let's talk about why this process is different. This has been double smoked, which is very different than what we see in our grocery stores.
Absolutely. So this starts at a smokehouse that is still one of the few family-owned smokehouses left in this country.
Okay.
100 years old, third-generation smoke master, has been perfecting his craft for basically his entire life.
Right.
So the double smoke process, and I do need to, let everybody know this is smoky bacon.
Right.
The stuff you get in the grocery stores nowadays, the first thing you're going to taste is you get some salt, and then it crumbles and crunches on you. This starts with some of the best pork that you can get your hands on, Duberton pork.
Okay.
It starts with smaller bellies. In those particular animals, they produce a leaner cut of bacon, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So if you look here really close at the bacon, you can see the marbleization throughout the meat.
And you actually see more meat instead of, it's the balance of meat and marble as opposed to all marble.
Absolutely. So this is not going to be the crumbly, salty bacon that you might be accustomed to with what bacon is nowadays.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, so do you know what flavor this is right in front of me right here?
This is the Cobb smoke that you were talking about.
Okay, this is the Cobb smoked. I need to show this to you. First of all, these are thicker cuts. They're like
Absolutely.
slabs, right?
And if you look and see, if the double smoking process, what it does is it removes a lot of the moisture in the bacon, so that when you cook it up, it remains as pretty much as large as you can get. There's not a whole lot of shrinkage.
I'll hold that right here. So you're not going to get a ton of shrinkage, which is amazing. Okay, so what's interesting about the Cobb smoked? You were telling me the story
So the
before
Cobb smoked bacon, back in the time when the settlers first arrived here, when they first started planting corn and they harvested the corn cob, or they harvested the corn, after they were done with the eating the corn, they used the corn cobs to smoke the bacon. It gives it it's a very different than what you might be used to. It's a very rich aroma.
It's very rich in its aroma, in its flavor, and you actually, maybe for the first time in your life, are tasting bacon instead of like a salty, crispy piece of something. This is what bacon is supposed to taste like, and the texture is really great because it's a meaty texture.
Absolutely. And you can see on the edge of when you look at the bacon itself, you can see how dark it is on the outside.
Beautiful.
It's been cured in vats of real maple syrup for 5 to 7 days. So I'm guessing you haven't even really tasted salt yet, have you?
No, I'm just tasting like I'm tasting meat. That's what I'm tasting.
That's exactly what this is. So after the 5 to 7 day curing process in real maple syrup, it's smoked for 10 to 12 hours at a fairly high temperature. When it's removed, the slabs are what they consider calling it double smoked.
Right.
So it's covered again, and the smoke that's still emitting from the slabs is actually re-smoking the bacon.
This is incredible, and I want to give you some ideas here because Valentine's Day is coming up, and that's what this show is all about. So order with your major credit card to get this on time for Valentine's Day. If you want to do like a salad for 2, or one of my favorite ideas is making the bacon this little shape of hearts for breakfast. Right up here. We could do a whole Valentine's Day weekend with this bacon.
A Valentine's Day weekend, absolutely. So it comes Saturday night, and depending on how gourmet you want to go, if you want to take the pepper crusted bacon and wrap it around a fillet, the twice baked stuffed potato with some Applewood bacon on top of it. You have some green beans. If you want to go into lunch the next day, the
mac and cheese.
If you do the club sandwich with that, it's going to create a totally different club sandwich than you've ever had in your entire life.
You know what? I could not agree with you more, because instead of just adding bacon for a little bit of extra crispness, because some people just kind of do that.
Sure.
This will add that smoky flavor. So if you've got, a turkey sandwich and you want to put some lettuce and tomato and a couple of pieces of this bacon on top, that will be a turkey sandwich that you will never forget for the rest of your life. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
This comes to us fresh, which to me is amazing. Like
Absolutely.
you told me before the show that what we have for the show is being smoked for this show.
Yes, the smokehouse that produces this it's small in size. It's not a big commercial operation at all.
Right.
So when we come on the show, they literally smoked this batch just for the QVC customer.
I love it. And the fact that you cannot find this in your grocery store, it is here for us. 2 pounds of the Applewood smoked country bacon. 1 pound of the Cobb smoked country bacon, which is the heritage one that I was talking about, and then the pepper crusted bacon, which had such a great texture and just a little bit of kick. This one is not overly spicy. I think sometimes people hear pepper and they're like, oh my gosh, is it gonna blow my head off? It's just a little bit more savory.
Yeah, a little bit piquant to it, and that's about it.
It is so incredibly good. Have you noticed that I've been eating bacon? Like this entire presentation, I've just been taking pieces off and breaking them off. So if we want to preserve it for longer, if we have a smaller family, it comes to us fresh, so how can we keep it for longer?
After the 4 weeks time, if you put it in the freezer, it's gonna last up to 6 months, and you really won't lose any quality whatsoever.
Because each one of these packages, unopened, will last up to 4 weeks in the fridge.
It'll last 4 weeks up into the fridge.
Okay.
And if you look at this, there's no moisture content in here.
Right.
And so when you put items in the freezer, what happens is the moisture content freezes, it explodes, and that's what makes things tough.
But you took the air out of the package.
No, the double smoking, what that does, the liquid, the double smoking creates more of a dry packed product.
Oh.
So you're actually, when you go to the grocery store and you get stuff that's pumped full of salt and pumped full of cure, and you get that juicy, that's not really juicy.
It's really what they injected into it.
Yeah, it's what they put into it.
So if you want to get the most delicious bacon you have ever had, the way bacon really should have been enjoyed 100 years ago, the way they produced it on farms. This company has been around for just over 100 years as of last year. So you can bring this home. It is M45414, sold out in its December debut. My hands are a little bacony, so I'm going to rub elbows with you, sir. Thank you so much
Thanks for
joining us for the show today. The most amazing bacon for Valentine's Day you could possibly imagine. But coming up in less than 10 minutes, we have the Kind bars.